This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you, guys. Thanks again for joining this today's session. Yesterday we went through the complete overview on all the topics that will be part of this training sessions, and I also provided high-level overview on what is that is going to be required for a performance tester to be a performance engineer. What are all activities that is expected from a performance engineer, and what is the expectation from the market as well. And then I gone through all these individual topics, and that is where we stopped yesterday. So today is going to be our day one of our batch, day one of our session, uh, where we will look into the Java basics, right? So the idea is to think ourselves as a developer before we go on to the any of the performance engineering concepts. Okay, but before going to this today's session, right, there were a couple of inquiries, couple of messages from a couple of you asking if this course will help them in clearing the interview, whether they will be able to answer the questions that will be asked in the any of the projects, or when they go and attend the interview. So that there were a couple of queries around this. They wanted to understand whether the entire batch will address from the interview point of view. So what I have done is I've collected the questions from the previous batches of folks who have attended the interviews. Right, I used to ask them to provide me the questions that they used to get it when they go and attend it, so that that feedback is going to help us in structuring our course as well. If at all the expectation is different, we will accordingly will go and refine our course, and that is what we have done as well over the period. As per the expectation from the market, as per the expectation from the interview panels, we have also redesigned the course content over the time. So first, probably 5-10 minutes, I'll quickly go over the couple of common questions. I have collated around 20 to 30 questions, and I'll just go. Run through this so that you will also understand what is that being asked in the interview from an engineering perspective, and whether we are going to cover it or not from the course. Okay, I'll just spend 5 to 10 minutes on this, and then we'll go to the our day one session. Okay, what happens if the thread stack reached its maximum? Mention some of the most important JVM parameters you have used in JVM heap memory. Mention how to use different garbage collectors by passing VM parameters in Java. Can you tell the system to perform a garbage collection forcefully? What flags can I use to tune the JVM and GC? Have you ever witnessed, if you see first at least 7 to 8 questions, right, it is completely around memory leaks, garbage collections, VM configurations, the stack, all these things, right? Everything is around the JVM, GC, memory leaks. All these questions will be covered both from the concept perspective as well as with the real problems, real examples, and we'll also go and solve those problems more from a practical way using the real code and tools. So pretty much any questions around this JVM configurations or garbage collections or memory leak, you should be able to answer it pretty much. Okay, and then if you go further, right, what are the various issues you have seen during load test? That is again one of the common questions people ask in the interview. What are the various problems you have seen during load test? This is very generic questions. There could be multiple issues, right? It is not just from an engineering perspective. You might have problem with the script, with the data, with the performance environment, with the load generators, with the tool licenses, your network latencies, and then from a server side, you might have all those memory problem or CPU problem or response time problem, DB database problems, downstream services taking more time. So it could be anything, thread contention, JDBC connection problems. So there could be n number of problems that you might encounter during a load test. So this is a generic questions, and practically whatever issues we will come across, we will be going and answering those questions. But more from engineering perspective, you will definitely get an answer from our session, so that you can confidently go and say, we will also run few load tests, few sample load tests, and we will monitor the test using the tick stack and also AppDynamics to determine the bottleneck. So those real-time examples will definitely help you to answer these kind of a question, in addition to generic scripting issues or test data issue. Okay, how do you troubleshoot the thread contention issues? How do you troubleshoot a response time problem? Developers say my code don't have any problem, and they come and say your test might be giving incorrect results. How will you go and convince developer that response time problem is not with the script or test data, rather it is with the application? That is again one of the question that will come very common nowadays, because lot of time we spend most of the time in convincing the developers and project team, saying the problem is not with the script or test data, it is rather the problem with the application side. So we should have a proper story to answer these questions. And then, so that also you'll definitely be able to answer it confidently once you go through all the sessions in the batch. How do you monitor and diagnose the performance issue if there is no AppDynamics or Dynatrace? I think even yesterday one of you asked this question, right? There's no AppDynamics, no Dynatrace. Then how do you monitor and diagnose the performance problem? That is also we will definitely. I think we discussed it very in a brief manner yesterday, but this question as well, you'll be able to answer it once we go through the session. Have we done configuration for any of the APM tools, and how basically the APM works? So the questions around APM, we are also covering AppDynamics in the batch, where we will go through configuration. We will go through the Java agent configuration, where we will be hooking your APM agent with our Java application practically, and then we will see how communication is going to happen between the Java application and the APM tool, and then we'll go and understand what are all things we can monitor from the APM as well. So that as well, you should be able to pretty much answer it in the interview. How do you capture memory stats continuously during a load test in Linux machine? If your application is hosted in the Linux server, then how do you monitor the memory stats? How do you monitor memory stats once, but for continuously in the load test, how do you do it? That also we'll cover it in the session after you go through the sessions for tick stack, right? You'll be able to answer these questions as well. How to enable AWR reports, rather how to enable snapshots. That is what I think the question is meant, but the people has given me the question asking how to enable AWR report. So and then couple of questions on database, right? Always people are going to ask you questions about the AWR analysis, AWR reports, art parsing, buffer cache hit ratio. All these things are very important from the database perspective, and wherever you go, these questions will be there for sure. What are all things you will you will look into, you will look into the AWR report? What is hard parsing? What is soft parsing? What is the buffer cache hit ratio? What does wait event means in AWR report? Right? All these things are going to be common, and we will have a very comprehensive sessions on database. One from architecture perspective, how Oracle process architecture works, how memory architecture works, and we'll also look into real time. We will go and connect with the Oracle database. We'll enable the snapshots by running some commands in against the Oracle database, and then we'll go and generate this AWR report, and then we'll look into all these art parsing and buffer cache hit ratio. Then again, in the recent past, the client side performance is something is very important for sure. Anyway, that is going to be your end user experience. So even though we go and do the load testing, all the engineering at the server side, client side performance is also important, because if from the browser side, if the slowness is going to be there, it is going to impact the your end user, right? Because end user will not understand whether the problem is there with the database, whether the problem is there with the my mainframe, or with the threads or memory. All the end user will want is the application to be fast, right? So you and me accessing some net banking or Amazon.com, we want the pages to load fast, right? If it is slow, we don't worry whether it is slow because it is because of the database or because of the thread or memory or client side issue, right? Slow is slow. So which means client side performance is also going to be very important. So we all these questions around client side performance, you will be able to answer it not only from the metrics perspective, also what kind of optimization you can do it, what kind of recommendation you can give it as an engineer. All these things as well, you will be able to answer it. What are the various cloud monitoring tools? How cloud monitoring differ from the other tools? Is performance testing required for cloud performance? What is auto scaling, and how do you validate? All these things as well, we will cover it as part of the our future ready session. We will talk about what is going to be different between a traditional performance testing or engineering versus performance engineering in cloud. What additional scenarios we are going to cover, right? Those things, and I also specifically mentioned about auto scaling yesterday as well. So that also you would be able to answer it. And then obviously DevOps questions, you can definitely expect questions around DevOps. And even if you're going to tell that you know about DevOps, you've done some basic integration, there is always going to be a good points when it comes to interview. Okay, so have you integrated JMeter and Jenkins? Do you know to create pipelines, and how do you schedule performance job in Jenkins? What is continuous monitoring? Have you integrated any monitoring tool in Jenkins? How do you arrive at workload for your load test? This is more from a non-functional requirement perspective, right? How do you arrive at the workload? How do you decide or define your workload? And how do you go and design your engineering strategy, right? This is around more from the plan and strategy. These questions are coming up. So pretty much, if you see from memory to response time problem, your thread problems, database problems, client-side analysis, your monitoring questions, DevOps questions, cloud questions, all these things are what you is commonly asked in your engineering interviews. And I would say at least 90 to 95% of these questions you would get an answer. In fact, if you go through these questions, maybe end of the our batch, right, you should be able to answer it, and that is how you can also probably judge yourself. In fact, you can also judge the batch as well. The way I have conducted the learning, also, you should be able to once you would be able to answer these questions. You can pretty much confident that you've learned what is it expected from the batch. Okay. So yeah, so I just wanted to probably run through this question, since a couple of you pinged me asking whether this course is going to help me in clearing the interview. Okay,
Also, I have
So
one question here, Satish. Actually, moreover, from the infra side, like earlier we have the load balancer and we have the VMs, right? But nowadays, if you see from the cloud perspective, we have the Kubernetes. Like where, like say, if it is a load balancer and the virtualization, we have a high scalable environment in the production environment normally. But nowadays, when it's a Kubernetes and Kubernetes layer is coming in picture, we have auto scaling kind of a replicas, like where we can create n number of replicas. So how we do we as part of this course we will be covering from that perspective also, if it is a monolithic application or kind of a old application, there they have a LB and then they have the VMs and Oracle rack setup. But nowadays if it is more from a virtualization, we have a Kubernetes, then we have a Docker, or with Red Hat Linux 8 there is a Podman concept also. From that perspective also, are you going to cover explain how we test with context to Kubernetes or a Docker setup in terms of performance?
see, that is what we will cover it in the what is that going to be different when it goes to cloud, right? When the application goes to cloud, the one thing we need to understand here is your application layer. The application layer is going to be still same. Okay, your database is going to be still same. The one layer above that, the infra part, is what it is getting automated when it goes to cloud. You talked about Kubernetes. It is more to do with provisioning or automating your deployments, right? Automating your provisioning your environments, provisioning your service, deploying automating your deployments. That is where your Kubernetes is going to come into picture. Again, same way, Docker is also going to be one layer above your application, right? So which means certain things are going to differ in terms of way we are going to monitor it. But more from the your testing and engineering is going to be pretty much same, right? Just because cloud is going to provide you auto scaling doesn't mean that we would not do the regular testing or regular engineering. Otherwise, as I mentioned yesterday, we are going to pay too much of amount to your Amazon or Azure. So there are going to be auto scaling scenarios that has to be applied, have to be implemented. So the delta changes between traditional to cloud when it comes to performance testing and engineering. Whatever there is additional scenarios, additional approach that is required, we will cover it as part of the session.
Also from a DB perspective, as you mentioned, like earlier it was a Oracle rack or a kind of a SQL based DB. But if I compare the NoSQL database or a MongoDB, like there, where the entire architecture is like segregated into a key value or it's kind of a JSON based or a kind of a APIs, where the REST calls or the DB calls is very fast, as well as if you compare the cost also, it's very less comparative to a NoSQL database. And when I'm talking from a cloud perspective, like even though I agree there is another layer, but when I'm talking from a cloud perspective, like nowadays if it is a new products or it's a new technologies that is coming in the picture, they are using a Kubernetes layering, and along with Kubernetes they are using a NoSQL DB, and along with the NoSQL DB they are using a Kibana, that is kind of a filter. I don't have to go and check my application logs. There I can put a filter and can search it. Also, we are using a Prometheus or Grafana. The like in
I
particularly
see.
Prometheus. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, right? I understand your question. All these databases, right? I will answer it in a very simple way. NoSQL database, a
Yeah.
MongoDB or Elasticsearch or InfluxDB, right? All these things are probably the very popular database when it comes to say analytics. And you're going to in any architecture, you are going to have both Oracle or SQL based database as well as NoSQL database. No architecture can live with one single type of DB. That is what we have seen in many of the application, because every both has its own advantage and disadvantage. Okay, and MongoDB has its own monitoring tool. InfluxDB has its own monitoring tool. As you said, it's all more like HTTP calls from a Mongo or Elastic perspective, right? Unlike your Oracle, where we go and write SQL queries. So obviously we cannot go and touch upon every NoSQL database and try to understand how are we going to monitor, or how are we going to do this analysis for NoSQL database. What within this boundary of 25 hours to 30 hours, right? And Oracle being still the most used database in the application architecture, and more from the market perspective and interview perspective also, lot of things needs to be discussed around, learned around Oracle DB. So that is why we have included Oracle in the course, which will have 3 to 4 days of exhaustive study. And if in case if you have any questions around InfluxDB or MongoDB or Elasticsearch, I would be able to share it, the additional information for sure. But that won't be part of the course because it is not practically to include everything within the batch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I understand the questions, because obviously the application nowadays, applications are going to have multiple technologies, multiple tools, multiple databases. But the way we have structured the course will cater across majority of the needs. That is what we are seeing in the today's architecture, today's market, and that is why I have also kept a couple of sessions on future readiness from DevOps perspective, from resiliency perspective, from cloud perspective. We will also cover it so that it won't be new when they hear something in their projects.
Yes, yes, yeah. Because moreover, when I'm working on new products, or like if it is a new product that are coming in picture, so they talk about more, or like performance engineering from a cloud perspective. Like, and in most of the interviews or product based companies, they do ask like these kind of questions, like
Correct.
Prometheus
Correct.
or Influx
Yeah.
and
See,
how
the
you
problem,
look
right?
at it.
Today, Prometheus will be there. 2 years back, it was not there. So I was myself personally was using Elastic and MongoDB, and today probably I would say last 6 months, 1 year, Prometheus is all of a sudden people are talking about Prometheus, and next year you'll see totally new tool. So when it comes to these modern set of tools and database, every 6 months, every 1 year, you get these new things. So obviously you will not be able to master any of these things. So you master one such aspect. That is what we say. We will go and master the Java performance engineering, and then Oracle database performance from an engineering, from an application performance perspective. Again, we're not going to be a DBS here. DBS is very specific department where it would need a lot of knowledge and experience to go and tune your databases. From a performance engineering perspective, we will go and learn database performance from Oracle perspective, from Java performance, so that tomorrow when you are going to work in another project where some other technology is going to be there, some other database is going to be there, you'll be able to apply this concept, and then you will be able to expand it, because things are going to keep changing every now and then. At least Java and Oracle has been there for 10 years or 15 years, and still we can say even now in any of the enterprise architecture, you will see both these things. So that is how we are structuring the courses as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So fine. Any other questions you have with respect to the course content? Any others? Any of you have any other questions?
I'm a performance center admin with FedEx right now. So I was looking forward to get more into performance testing and engineering. So will this course be helpful for me?
So you said you are performance admin
Yeah,
administrator,
performance
is it?
center.
For
Yeah,
people?
HP
Okay.
Performance Center.
Okay. 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 Um, So see, whatever we are covering here, it is completely on the performance concept and performance engineering. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely it is going to help people whoever have knowledge on the performance testing concepts.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely going to help you. But if you wanted to get into the probably complete performance testing alone,
Mm-hmm.
right, then you will also need to pick up since you're already part of the PC admin, you would have known load runner and other things, right?
Yes.
Probably should also get some hands-on experience in load runner scripting or load runner executions.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
scripting, we will be doing some of scripting in this course, right?
No, in this course, no. In this course, we will not get into the load runner scripting or scripting related topics. We will not get into this. You can probably talk to Kumar. There are some crash courses for uh, performance testing, and there are also a few basic courses for load runner scripting also.
Mm-hmm.
So you can probably reach out to me and Kumar. We will guide you accordingly. But this will still definitely help you out, but not from a
Okay.
scripting perspective.
I have already opted out for the load runner videos, recorded videos.
Okay, then I think
So
then that should be good enough. Yeah, that should be good enough.
that should be good enough only if I go through the videos.
True, true.
Yeah. So that was the only question. Means,
Sure,
am
sure.
I on the right track or not?
Okay, yeah, I would still say you have a discussion with Kumar. He is very good in providing
Mm-hmm.
the suggestions. So yeah, talk to him once,
Mm-hmm.
and you can also ping me offline. We can discuss. I mean, I need to
Okay.
understand your other skill set also. Then we
Mm-hmm.
can decide.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's start the session. We already 30 minutes into the session, but I'll probably quickly start and then we'll see how far we can go today and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Okay, fine. So we will start with this probably some part of it today, and we'll continue it tomorrow. What we want to do is, as I said yesterday, before we go and learn the performance engineering concept or JVM concept or troubleshooting problems, we need to definitely break our mindset of whether we will be able to handle this engineering. That is one of the mind block or roadblock always, right? Am I good enough? Will I be able to go and talk to the developer about the recommendations or observations, right? So for what for us to go and do this engineering properly, right? What we will end up is we will talk about response time problem. We will talk about response time is I in a method. We'll go and tell this class file is having a problem. We'll go and say there is a memory leak with respect to these objects. So we will always go and report something in the name of class, objects, or method, or functions, or DB queries, right? And then we'll also point out there's a problem with the DB connection. There's a problem with the HTTP third-party HTTP calls. So all these things are common observations, common analysis. What we make it during a load test or during our whenever you're going to do this engineering. Okay, but unless otherwise you know little bit on what is this class means, what is this object, what is this method, how it is going to really look like, how a developer will go and develop this class file, how is he going to compile it, how will he go and deploy it, what is war file, how war file is getting created. So it is very important to just get into the shoes of a developer, um, and do small things. We're not going to go into hardcore programming. We're not going to go and develop applications to application. No, just get onto the some kind of a basic coding, so that we'll know what it is, whatever we are going to talk about. We would have seen it practically. That is the only intention of getting this basic knowledge, right? So we should start thinking ourselves as a developer. From a performance tester, when we go to performance engineer, slowly we should make ourselves fit as a developer, writing small programs. Um, we can create our own requirements, how to read a file, how to parse it, and how to write into a database or write into another file. It's some small examples we can take it, and we should be able to go and do this program ourselves. That's it, right? And then probably we can download some good applications from the online, and then when we go into look into the code, right, then we will be able to understand, okay, this is how a real application code is going to be. This is how the classes are organized. It is kind of a reverse engineering, right? At this stage, where now I guess most of you are probably having 2 years of experience and 3 years of experience, 5 years of experience, right? It is going to be very difficult for you to go and read Java from ABC. Where if you go and take any Java book, right, it will say you start with your data types, arithmetic operations, logical operators, OOPS concept. Once you start reading this OOPS concept and all these preliminary subjects, right, you will get lost. Probably 3 days, 4 days, 5th day, 6th day, you will lose interest. Okay, so my advice is don't start from there. Start right away. Start writing programs, small programs. Even if it is going to be some addition, subtraction, that is fine. Start creating 1 or 2 class files, 1 or 2 methods, and then one of the biggest advantage of Java is the community support. Okay, you if you go and ask the Stack Overflow or Google about any program, you will get it. Maybe you will get it 5 or 6 different options. You need to pick the one which is which will work, but you will get answer for sure. That is one of the reasons still Java is preferred in any architecture, is when somebody is going to design a system, and they pick Java because they will get a lot of Java developers for sure, and the kind of community support they will have it is going to be very enormous. Okay, so for you to learn Java, you can pretty much rely on not even the courses. You can just rely on the Google itself, right? But the starting point is not going to be book oriented learning. It has to be direct practicals. You start creating programs and then start analyzing the already written programs. Then for any doubts, you can go back to the book, or you can go back to any of your Google to understand why it is written like this, why what it is, and you can try to do the reverse engineering. That is how you can easily learn Java effectively and interestingly also, right? Most of the time we lose interest and we stop it in middle. I have done it, and so many of time I have tried to learn, but I have never gone after 5 days, 6 days. But this way of doing it practically, that is going to really help you. Okay, so what we'll do today is let me not probably talk about this JDKs and JVMs and JREs. Probably I'll park it for next class. I'll just go and probably provide you a very good probably I would say a very good kickstart for the Java, right? If somebody would have already worked in Java, very good in Java, or probably have done something in Java, this is going to be very preliminary for you. You might also feel a little bored also, but for others who haven't done any programming, who still have a lot of confusions over all this class and object, right? I'll make it a little simple, little interesting also. Okay, so the way we are going to learn the basics of Java, very small things about Java is we will follow a skeleton way of creating Java program. You might have created JMeter scripts, you might have created load runner scripts, right? When you would have started doing a load runner scripting and all, you might have never thought about what is action, what is init, what is end. Maybe you know that whatever that is there in action, it will be iterated. Init, it will be done only once, end only once. But within that, what is there? Why it is called init? What is action? What is end? There are a lot of web transaction, LR star transactions. What is there inside, right? You might have never went into that deep to understand those things, right? Similarly for Java also, we will just follow a skeleton based program. Okay, that is how I call it as Java program skeleton. For any program, you can think about big applications, n number of classes, whatever it is. It is going to have a class, it is going to have a method, a package, and it is going to have an object. For example, leave out Java, any programming language, what it is going to do, it is going to get an input. It has to store it temporarily somewhere. It will do some processing. Processing could be any operation, and then either it is going to store that output permanently somewhere in the database, and also it is going to return the output. So input, temporary storage, processing, permanent storage, and then giving back the output. That is what any program it is going to do. So in Java, you're going to write the program, right? Whatever operation we are going to do, that is going to be there in the program. So that is what we are going to call it as a class. There is going to be a class file, which is nothing but a program, which is going to have a set of operation. An operation could be a plus b or b plus c, whatever it is. Any class file is again nothing but a program. Within a program, it can have multiple operations. So the operations will be grouped into couple of methods. It could have method 1, method 2. Method 1 can do some price calculation. Some method 2 can calculate the discount calculation. Method 3 can go and insert data into a database. So some operation, right? So there is going to be a class file which is going to have this multiple method, which is nothing but the set of operations. Okay, that is as simple as that. Why class is required? It has to receive the input. It has to receive the input from anybody. A person can provide an input. Say I need to add 5 plus 3. So 5 plus 3 will be given to this class file. That has to be temporarily stored, right? Those 5 and 3 has to be temporarily stored before you do this operation. So those 5 and 3 will be stored in the integer or byte or string. Those are going to be your data type. Okay, so we will go and declare integer a, or your some kind of if it is going to be a string, if it has to store some alphanumeric, we'll go and declare a string. So these are all going to be data type. So within the class, you will have the declaration for data type: int a, int b, boolean x, and some device string. So some kind of a declaration will be there in a program. So program is now Java. In Java, program is nothing but a class file. In a class file, you're going to have multiple declarations, which is going to store the data temporarily, and then you're going to have method 1, method 2, which is going to do the operation. Okay, so that is going to be your skeleton. So group of similar to one class file, there could be multiple class file: class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. Everything is going to be packed into a package. So one package will have multiple class files. Each class file is going to have data, some kind of a data type like integer or string to temporarily store this data. And then you're going to have methods, method 1, method 2 to go and do this required computation, addition or subtraction or whatever it is, right? And then similarly, like one class file, there will be multiple class file. Everything will be grouped into it, called a package. Okay, so now we have seen class, we have seen method, we have seen package, we have seen data type. Don't worry about primitive and non-primitive, whatever I have given it in the slide. Don't worry. This is very important when we are going to talk about the memory concepts later. Stack memory or heap memory, that will be related to primitive and non-primitive. I'm not going to talk about it now. It will be confusing, but this is going to be very important when we are going to talk about learn about the memory concepts later. But for now, we will keep it very simple. Any Java program which is a class file is going to have the method and some kind of a data declaration. Okay, this object is always going to be a little confusing. What is object? Okay, people say Java is object oriented programming. What is this object? Okay, let me give a very simple example for us to understand. Okay, yeah, you all of us would have did some shopping in the e-commerce platform, right? Where you might be entering Amazon.com. I also might be entering Amazon.com, and you will go and probably choose mobile for your purchase. Okay, and then I will go and do something for say laptop. Okay, I'll go and purchase laptop. You'll go and purchase mobile, and you will say you need a quantity of 2 mobiles. I will say 1 laptop. Okay, and then you will go and say give me the price, calculate price, right? Probably there will be a button to calculate the price. Similarly, for me also, from in my UI, Chrome browser, in the screen, there will be something to calculate the price. Once I click the button price, and when you also click the price, what will happen? There will be a HTTP call that will come to the your server, and the server will locate the particular program or particular class file which can do this calculation, right? So when it is going to come to this class file, there is only one class file. Okay, that class file will have this temporary variable to store, say, product equal to mobile, or quantity equal to 2. There will be 2 data type that will be declared, called product string and quantity as integer. Okay, for you it is a mobile device and quantity as 2. For me it is laptop and quantity as 1. Now Java or JVM, what it will do is it will go and create a instance of that for you and instance of that for me. So it is kind of a replica. It will go and create an instance of this class file where it will say devices, the product is equal to mobile for you, quantity equal to 1 for you. For my object, it will say, it will go and substitute product equal to laptop and quantity equal to 2. Okay, so there will be one class file that will be there in the server. When somebody is going to call the class file, and an object will be created, an instance of this class will be created, one model of that class will be created, that will be dedicated for you alone. That object will store the data called mobile, instead of in the name of product, quantity equal to 1. For me, object 2 will be created for the same class file, where that product equal to laptop, quantity equal to 2. And then when the price is going to get calculated, then it will go and check what is the mobile cost, what is the laptop cost for me, and then it will provide the total cost something for you separately and for me separately. Once it is your operation is completed, that object will go and die. Okay, so object is nothing but an instance of the your class file. I'll show an exact example in the code. You would be able to easily understand. Okay, so in this sample program, if you see, there is something called cart.java. There is something called price.java. Okay, so in the cart.java, if you see, I have declared something called string product int equal to quantity. Okay, I have hard coded that value equal to mobile and quantity equal to 10 for our learning purpose. Ideally, what will happen is this method will receive this data from the UI. So UI, you will say, I need a mobile Samsung, I need quantity 10. It will come to the once you hit the submit button through HTTP call. In the HTTP call, the product equal to mobile and quantity equal to 10. It will be there in your post call. It will come to your server, and then server will call this cart class file. Then in the cart class file, this data, this mobile and 10 will be passed as an parameter. For our learning purpose, I just kept it as a hard-coded value as mobile and 10. Okay. Then now what will happen is, here we are going to go and calculate the price. Okay. So in the price, if you see, in the price.java, don't worry about all these how these programs are written. Anyway, we will do an hands-on on how to create one single class file, how to create one method, how to create multiple method, how to call one method from another method. All these things we will do hands-on in the next session. For our understanding about the object, right? I'm just explaining with an example. Whatever I explained theoretically, I'm just showing it here. So this data will come here, okay, and then to the this data will be passed to the pricing calculator method. So this is the price calculation method where I'm passing this product and quantity. Okay, this price calculation product quantity is passed. So this mobile and 10 will go to this class file. Here I am receiving this product and quantity. Here, if product equal to laptop, cost equal to 2000. If product equal to mobile, cost equal to 300. And there is a calculation, price value equal to cost into quantity. And then it will return the price value. This is how even in the real program it is going to work. Probably this cost will not be hard coded. It might be coming from some database. Okay, but say if I'm going to just run this program, right, I'll go and change this to sorry, now we have mobile and 10. So the output has to be 10 into cost is 300, 3000. It has to give a response saying it is 3000 is a total price. We just go and run it. This is assuming that you have ordered a mobile as quantity 10. Okay, for you it will return the price as 3000. Okay, product price is 3000. Now if I go and change this to laptop, right, now I'm ordering it, right, I'm ordering it from my browser. This method will receive saying somebody is ordering laptop, somebody is ordering 10. For them it will create an object for this class file, and then it will provide the I'll go and save this, and then I'll run this. Now if you see, it is giving 20,000 as a product price because a laptop cost is 2,000 whatever USD or rupees. Okay, so this is how the actual application is also going to work in our case. Okay, there will be only one class file. This price.java, code.java, all these things are individual programs. .java. Okay, once you compile it, it will be called as a dot class. Okay, again all these compilation and all we'll look into it in detail in the next session. Just for our basic understanding, every application is going to have this set of class file. In a single class file, you will have this data type. Say for example, here I have data type as cost, I have a data type as price value. Okay, and I'm going to do an operation. I can do an operation directly, or I can put it inside a method also. So any class file is going to have a this is a method. Price calculation is your main method here. So every class file will have a method, and then it will have the some data types, integer or string, whatever it is. Okay, and then whenever you're going to hit this call this class file from the UI. From the UI, when you're going to say I need to know my price for my cart, price for my mobile, Samsung mobile for 10 quantity, then it will go and your server or JVM will create an instance of that object, and then it will substitute those data of quantity equal to 10, the product equal to mobile, and then it will provide you the do the calculation for the price, and then it will provide you the output. So 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people accessing the site at the same time. Say for example, when you're going to do a load test, right, with 1,000 users, and 1,000 users going to purchase a product at the same time. Maybe you might have seen the big billion days, or your during Christmas or the New Year, you might have seen lot of online sales, right? In which case, this your same class files would have been invoked multiple times. Every time for an user, an object will be created, and that object will get will act upon the specific input you're going to give it in the UI, and then it will do the operation, and it will provide the output. And then the object will after some time it will go and die. That again we'll not going to talk about now. That is going to be part of our memory concept, memory leaks, the way the objects memories are allocated. That is a different topic. But more from a skeleton perspective, it is going to have a class, method, group of class file is going to call it as a package, and one single class file, there will be multiple instances during a runtime. That is called as an object. Okay, the import, something we'll talk about it again next class. We'll be importing lot of other people's packages, other people class files, right? In an enterprise, if you are a developer, you will be developing few programs, and there will be other people who will be developing other set of programs. If at all you wanted to import the other project teams packages, there will be some reusable components, right? Reusable components which can be shared across the teams. So you can go and import it. Similarly, you will go and download lot of jar files from the internet for doing some operations. In most of the cases, you will not go. Developer will not go and create programs from a scratch. You will go and download a program for doing some JSON parsing, some string handling, some string manipulation. For everything, there will be already written programs jar files. So we will be downloading it and then importing it to our project. Okay, so that is what we import. We will also see those import while we go and look into this in the next session. So next session, what we will do is we'll go and create a new Java project. We'll go and create a simple class file with one main method, and then we'll go and create multiple class file, and then we'll call we'll go and create objects, and we'll go and call one method from another method, and then we'll also create class files with some database connections, and we'll go and add some external jars. We'll go and import those jar files, and we'll also go and create a class file with some HTTP connections, right? So all these practical things will start doing it in the next class. Okay, before that, what you need is only two things. You need Java and you need Eclipse for you to be installed in your laptop. Okay, in the sheet, if you see, I would have given the path to download the Java, and then
Would you please share it over chat here itself?
sorry.
To download Eclipse and Java, please share it over chat window.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it, or probably as soon as you register it, you will get an access to the sheet immediately. No problem.
Okay.
I'll ping it. Not a problem. I'll ping this once probably now itself. Not a problem.
But everything that we are going to use in next class, these two URLs will be really helpful.
Not a problem. I'll go and ping you that. But the thing I'm trying to convey here is for the next class, before you come to the next class, at least install the Java and then Eclipse, and then you need to set your even setting up your Java environmental variables. We will do it in the session itself tomorrow.
Yeah. So just to download these things, I want the URL because you may be having the right information. Otherwise, we would be just googling around for the same URL.
I think that you download and install it. Installation is going to be straightforward. It's just going to go through next, and first install Java, and then you need to install Eclipse.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll probably stop it here, and then if you have any questions around the your batch sessions or topics or anything, just let me know.
Just wait for a minute. I'm copying, otherwise I may have leave.
Sure, go ahead. What is the duration of the course? Somebody has asked it. The duration of course, as I said, it's going to be minimum of 25 hours. So for someday we will have 1 hour, someday we'll have 1 hour 10 minutes, 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes, depending upon the logical conclusion, right? It might go between 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 10 minutes. So which means it will be 25 days to 30 days, I would say, or 23 days to 25 days, anywhere between 20 to 30 days. Okay. So yeah, this will be the plan for tomorrow. We'll go and start doing this hands-on program, and then we'll also go and create jar files. We'll go and create war files, and we'll go and deploy it. And then we will start our engineering sessions maybe in the coming days. Tomorrow the plan would be to do this Java programs, and then to create the jar and war file. Okay, guys, I'll just stop here. If you have any questions, let me know. And from tomorrow, or probably I would say from once we start this sessions, right? I would probably want, whenever we finalize the batch participants, I will anyway talk to you separately to understand your current skill set, what is your expectation and all. I'll try to talk to you probably a couple of minutes tomorrow for whoever already registered. And also I wanted to this to be a little interactive also, so that whenever you have questions, we can discuss, and then we can go forward with the sessions. And rather than I just go and talk, and then you ask questions. It has to be it has to be interactive session, so that you will be able to understand and move forward easily. Okay. And yeah, so there is another question somebody pinged. What is that?
Okay, Satish, thank you.
Okay.
I am dropping off. Yeah, thank you so much for your
Sure,
time. Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. How to ensure that Java is installed in mission through command prompt? You can just go to command prompt and then type java-version, then you will get the Java version. If it is not coming, either you haven't set the environmental variable properly, or Java is not installed. Okay, so
I will try to just go through the link which you have shared. I will try to the whatever the exe file will be there to download in my system, and
sure.
maybe most probably you are going to cover how to install everything maybe tomorrow, so it will helpful.
Yeah. We will tomorrow's will cover how to configure the environmental variables. But download, you can just go and do it, because already I have downloaded and installed it. But the installation is going to be very straightforward. It's just going to be just give next. It will get installed. Once it is installed, you need to do some configuration changes in the environmental variable. That we will do it tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, guys. Okay, then cool. So if you
Thank
have
you.
any questions, yeah, thank you. If you have any questions offline, if you want to ask me, just ping me, and we can connect over the call as well during daytime tomorrow. Okay.
Satish, just one suggestion. I understand this course is all about performance engineering concepts, not about all the tools that we are using for performance engineering, right? Uh, just one suggestion. We are suppose we are working on one particular tool. We want to know other relevant tools which can be used for similar kind of analysis or similar kind of task, so that even if we are not covering all tools, we will be aware of what all things are available in market and what will be the future.
Makes sense. Okay, we will do it probably whenever we are going to go through any sessions, right? Say be it is going to be monitoring like AppDynamics or New Relic or Dynatrace. Similarly, for somebody asked about NoSQL database, right? What is there for InfluxDB? What monitoring tool is there for MongoDB? Those questions as well. I'll try to provide those additional information as well. Whatever I know, I'll try to give it. If something is I don't know about it, I'll also try to get it and explore it and give it to you. What we can do, your name is Purva, right? So we will maintain this
Yeah.
Q&A. Okay, we will maintain this Q&A. For example, if you're going to do this profiling, we'll be using JVisual VM, JProfiler, and in parallel, there are also other tools like Yerkit kind of a tools, right? If you can, somebody can also probably post these questions. What are the alternate tools available for profiling, or for database analysis, or for database monitoring of NoSQL database? If you can keep those questions in the sheet, I will definitely try to provide you those information also.
Yeah, apart from tools, what all new technologies are there? Someone mentioned about Kubernetes, some relevant tools related to Kubernetes. All these things, we are working on very traditional architecture for now. So these things we are not aware of.
I got it. So whatever I know, I will share it for sure.
Okay.
When it
Thank
comes
you.
to Docker, when it comes to pods, the tools that are available in Azure, in your AWS, right?
Right.
Whatever that I know, I'll definitely try to share those information in the same sheet.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It is very vast, right?
Actually,
That's
just
why I asked you to somebody to help me with the question so that I will also will not forget, because you might totally having different set of questions which I might not even aware of it, and because
Right.
this is very vast set of tools and technology. So if something is something I'm missing it out also, you can also post those questions here. That is why we will maintain the sheet throughout the batch, even after the batch also, so that you can refer to all these questions asked by everyone, and I'll try to answer those as much as knowledge I have.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
uh, I need one help, Satish, here. Like normally, whenever we do POCs for performance projects, or if we are planning for a solution for a kind of a complex applications, so there are like sometimes the application gives kind of a challenging things, like the way, like the like, say for example, the web application part or the web layer. When we talk about, so like the basic thing, like the how is the header information or the body, like and even if it's the REST APIs, then like there are certain envelope, or like there are different configuration that are mentioned in the header or in a web call, like in a web APIs call. So if you have anything handy, or like say, if I sometimes we have to code in Java, and we need to figure out a solution. So like say in a web request, what are the header and a footer, or what normally in a POC we need to take care. If you have something handy, blocks or anything kind of material, if you can share across the forum, that will be really helpful. That is also one thing, like I just wanted to bring here,
So
if
more
you
from
can
scripting
also.
you are asking, is it? More from scripting POC?
It's not like about a scripting thing. Like sometimes we have a multi-layered application, and like one protocol doesn't suffice. Like say for the login is in Flex application, and then they are redirecting it to HTML UI. And so they are like, when as a performance tester, I may be good in load runner scripting, or I might be good in JMeter scripting, but Java scripting. But when it comes to a web application, or it's a Node.js application, so there are some, like sometimes the tester doesn't have the basic knowledge of a web API, or like what goes in a header. Like in a header there is an envelope, then there is a header application slash JSON, like these kind of basic things. Like sometimes we struggle, and we have to add a HTTP request in my load or in my request. So like I face these kind of issues. So if you have something, articles or anything that can help me out, will be really great.
Okay,
Like
okay, okay. Got it. Okay, so I don't have it anything handy. Put that question in the sheet. Okay, we have very good experienced testers and other trainers. We'll also float that question to other people, and we'll try to get if they have any documentation or any kind of a point of view on handling these kind of problems. I'll get it across to the other people, and I'll get it to you. I don't have it handy. Before I reach out to other people, within Kumar's team itself, there are very good trainers who are handling performance test scripting and all these things, right? They might have some answers ready-made. I'll get it from them.
Yeah, it's like a scripting thing, like we are okay. Just like sometimes we have to like change the header like or
Correct.
in a call, like the header and the footer, or in the body some extra text are there. So how, or it's encrypted one, like a URL encoding is there. So sometimes there we face challenges. Coding it's okay, like if it is a JavaScript or a Java based codes, we can write it. Or if it's JSON also, we can split up as data and object use collection APIs. So these things we can do, but the basic web part is missing. So they are like need some help. Like yeah, okay.
Correct,
Thank you.
correct, correct, correct. Okay, okay, sure. Just put that
Satish,
question. Yeah.
one more doubt. Actually, for Oracle, we are using AWR reports, right? Is there
Uh-huh.
anything to monitor SQL as well?
So your MySQL server, is it?
Yes, yes.
So there are tools available to get your SQL processing times, and then also the memory that is occupied by your individual process within your SQL server. But there's no such concept of AWR reports for MySQL. but I'll get those additional information. I haven't worked on any of the MySQL part till now. All I have worked it only on the Oracle and InfluxDB or Elastic and Mongo. But MySQL, to my whatever I know, there is no such AWS concept. But for sure, we would be able to monitor. There are some open source plugin available to monitor the SQL processing time. I'll get you those additional proper answer for you.
Yeah, thank you, Satish.
Yeah, sure. Fine, guys. Okay, we'll end the session now, and if you have any questions, just ping me, and then we'll continue with the sessions tomorrow. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you, guys.